In my last video, we talked about how to hire the right salesperson. But here's where many companies mess it up. You finally hire someone great, and then you throw them into chaos with no clear onboarding. No plan, no direction, and what happens? They check out. Or worse, they leave. Most companies hire a new rep, give them a quick rundown of the product, and expect them to start selling too early. Then they wonder why the salesperson struggles or quits a few months later. Onboarding isn't just about introducing them to the team and hoping they'll figure it out. It's a process, and when done right, it ensures your new salespeople ramp up faster, close more deals, and actually stick around. In this video, I'll walk you through the 5-step process for successfully onboarding salespeople. Too many CEOs make the same mistake. They assume that once a new salesperson is hired, their job is done. But without a structured onboarding process, even the best hires will struggle. Think about it. Would you send a pilot into the cockpit without proper training? Of course not, but companies do this with new sales reps all the time. Onboarding isn't about showing them the product and sending them off to sell. It's a carefully planned process that typically ranges from 30 to 60 days depending on the role that determines whether they'll succeed or fail. And when companies get it wrong, the consequences are huge. High turnover happens when salespeople leave because they feel lost. Lost revenue occurs when untrained reps cannot close deals. And a damaged reputation follows when bad sales experiences push customers away. Before we dive into the 5-step process, let's talk about the biggest onboarding mistakes that sets sales hires up for failure. Most companies fail at onboarding because they make these 4 critical mistakes. First, they expect new reps to sell too soon. Most companies assume that once the salesperson is hired, they should immediately start closing deals. But without the proper training, they're just guessing. Second, they don't have a structured training process. Sales onboarding isn't just sit with this guy for a few days and watch what he does. New reps need clear, intentional training. Third, they don't give new reps real-world practice. Watching sales calls isn't enough. New sales reps need to practice pitching, handling objections, and refining their skills before talking to real customers. And fourth, they don't track progress. Many sales leaders assume onboarding is happening effectively, but they never measure whether their reps are actually improving. Now that you know what not to do, here's the 5-step process to onboard new sales hires the right way. Most companies don't realize this, but onboarding doesn't just start on the first day. It starts before the salesperson even arrives. Think about it. How does it feel when you start a new job and no one is prepared for you? Your computer isn't set up, no one knows what your schedule is, and you're left figuring things out for yourself. Not exactly a great first impression. The best companies make new hires feel welcome before they even walk through the door. And when you get this part right, you create momentum from day one. So how do you do it? Here are 5 ways to give your new rep a powerful first impression before they even start. First, send them a welcome package, but don't just make it generic company swag. Add something with a personal touch, like a handwritten note or a bottle of wine or something unique to your brand. It shows you're invested in their success before they've even logged in. Next, set up their workspace. If they're coming into the office, their desk should be ready to go. If they're remote, send their laptop in advance and make sure they have access to everything they'll need. Then get their systems ready. Email, CRM, any internal platforms, anything they'll need day one should already be working. That way, they can start strong without having to wait on IT. You'll also want to schedule their intro meetings in advance. Their calendar should be booked with key meetings and onboarding sessions so they're not sitting there wondering what to do. And finally, connect them with a peer mentor. Coming into a new company can be intimidating. Giving them a friendly point of contact before day one helps break the ice and makes them feel part of the team right away. A salesperson's confidence starts before they ever make a call. If their first experience with your company is chaotic and unorganized, you're already setting them up to fail. But even if everything is perfectly prepared before they start, that's just the beginning. If they don't know what's expected of them, how will they know if they're on the right track? Have you ever seen a salesperson struggle, not because they lack skill, but because they don't know what success looks like? Many CEOs assume that if they hire the right person, they'll just figure it out. But that's not how it works. Salespeople thrive on clear, measurable goals. That's why onboarding should start with a structured 30, 60, and 90-day plan. In the first 30 days, focus on learning. This includes product knowledge, customer needs, and industry training. By 60 days, they should be actively selling with support, refining their pitch, and handling objections. And at 90 days, they should be fully ramped up and hitting key sales metrics. When new hires don't know what they're working towards, they get lost and disengaged. But setting clear expectations isn't enough. They also need to understand what they're selling before they make a single call. Have you ever had a sales call with someone who clearly had no idea what they were talking about? It happens when companies rush new hires into selling before they even understand what they're selling. Before making a single call, every new rep should have 3 things. First, deep product knowledge. They should understand every feature and use case inside out. Second, competitor knowledge. They need to know how your product stacks up against the competition. And third, a strong understanding of the ideal customer profile. They should know exactly who they're selling to and why they need the product. A well-trained salesperson doesn't just sell a product. They solve a problem. But knowing the product isn't enough. They also need to be able to communicate its value effectively. So how do you make sure they can actually sell? Some companies think that sales training is just having new sales reps listen to a few calls. But that's not training, that's observation. And observation alone doesn't create great salespeople. New reps need structured, hands-on sales training. This isn't about giving them a PDF and hoping they figure it out. It's about preparing them to succeed in real conversations. Here's what it looks like. Start with role-playing real sales conversations. Before they talk to actual customers, they should practice discovery calls, value statements, and handling different buyer types, to name a few. Next, help them work through common objections. Give them space to stumble, recover, and build confidence so they don't freeze up the first time a prospect pushes back. And finally, have them practice delivering their pitch. Not just once or twice, but enough times that they can do it clearly, smoothly, and naturally. If a salesperson can't confidently explain the product's value in a practice setting, they won't be able to sell in the real world. But even after they've been trained, how do you make sure they keep improving once they're in the field? One of the biggest onboarding mistakes companies make is assuming training ends after a few weeks. The reality, onboarding should continue for at least 90 days. Sales leaders play a key role in making onboarding successful. Their job isn't just to supervise, it's to stay closely involved in supporting performance during those early months. Here's how they can do that effectively. Start by tracking key performance metrics. Focus on data points like meetings booked, conversion rates, and closed deals. These numbers give you a clear picture of how well the rep is adapting. Next, provide consistent coaching and feedback. Help them fine-tune their messaging, build confidence, and stay aligned with your sales expectations. And finally, watch for early signs of struggle. If someone starts to fall behind, adjust the training plan quickly so you can keep them on track before it becomes a bigger issue. If you're not tracking performance and providing ongoing coaching, you have no idea whether your new hire is improving. Sales onboarding isn't something you can afford to wing. A structured onboarding process leads to higher sales success, better retention, and faster ramp-up times. Let's quickly recap the 5 steps to onboarding your new sales hires the right way. First, start onboarding before day 1. Set the tone early and show them they're joining a professional, supportive team. Second, set clear expectations from the very beginning. Define what success looks like and help them understand exactly how they'll be measured. Third, teach the product and your customers' needs. They need to understand what they're selling and who they're selling it to before they ever pick up the phone. Fourth, use hands-on sales training. practice real conversations, work through objections, and help build confidence before talking to customers. And finally, provide ongoing coaching and track performance. Support them with regular feedback and adjust your approach based on what the data tells you. And if you want a free sales onboarding checklist to guide you through this process, check the link in the description. Now, check out my next video on sales process where I'll show you what a proven, repeatable sales process looks like.